Hey, it's Lynn.
Hey, it's Tanya.
We are back. Sorry about the no video. We've got an injury in the house, and so we are going to stick to audio for the time being. If you are new to our channel and you don't know who we are and like visual is important to you, skip back a couple videos. We're pretty open about shooting video and not audio, but for now, this is what we're doing. We have some stuff to share about walk-ins. There is a whole bunch of information out in the community about walk-ins that is not accurate. And we want to make sure everybody has truths about what's going down in the community and how this really affects you or does not affect you. So we are going to share input on this subject. Tanya and I have both either ourselves or very, very close to us experienced walk-ins. We work with a lot of people that have experienced walk-ins. We have a lot of walk-ins coming to us for support in their journey and in the guidance that we provide because we have experience with this very deeply. So we want to make sure that everybody has the right info. So what we want to talk about now are signs of a walk-in possibility in your journey. Like if you are feeling like something's not right, don't jump to the conclusion that you've got a walk-in situation looming. We're going to give you the 7 or 8 things to kind of look at to kind of help you, kind of give you some guidance on whether this indicates that you've got a walk-in or not. As we always tell people, Tanya and I can see symbols of true twins. We do true twin validations. We can also check to see if this walk-in applies to you, towards your twin, or to both, or separately how this looks. The one thing that we do want people to keep in mind is there's a lot of divine feminines that are frustrated with their journey, that are feeling like, I'm ready for a walk-in. I want my twin replaced. I'm giving up. When's my walk-in going to get here? And it does not work like that. The divine feminines are supposed to lead the divine masculine. So if your twinship is not progressing and you're giving up, the divine feminine that's in this mindset is going to be the one that's replaced. I hate to break it to you, because if you're not doing your job, your twin doesn't stand a chance in hell at moving forward and in progress in his path either. And since it's the divine feminine's job to lead, it's your responsibility to keep this on track. If you don't know what that looks like, go back and look at the video about the track. This is what's required of you as a divine feminine. So it's your job. If you're not doing your job, you're going to be the first one that's going to be replaced, not him. Big, big, big misconception in the community. All it takes these days is saying, I give up, and people are getting pulled.
Right.
So
There's also another thing you need to keep in mind. We still have free will. They can decide divine feminine or divine masculine, and this is why the team is so harsh about it. It's because they listen. And they know what's in your heart. And they know if you're actually truly saying, okay, I'm done with this, or I give up, or I want to walk in, this is too hard. That's the reason that you're yanked. It's because so many people are having so many issues that are not really huge issues. It's small things like 3D. He's not texting me. He's not calling. We haven't spoken in 2 years. Okay. But you still have your telepathy and your 5D, which is supposed to be mastered by now. So if you have all these hangups, then a lot of times that's where these walk-ins come in at.
Yep.
Makes sense.
A lot of people are kind of on the fence and concerned about it because of what we talked about in October and November. So go back and look at those videos about with Keanu and about God Says, because there was a lot of the community that was replaced with walk-ins and were transitioned out last fall. And so there's a lot of aftermath right now of people not knowing where they stand. And there's a lot of twins out there that really don't know they've been pulled off path. So, okay, we're going to get to the signs of a walk-in. Number 1, if you start having dreams of some specific other person that is not your twin, but it feels the same and you have an intense attraction to them, be really careful about that. That could be dark trying to sway you off journey. If you're actually making progress, that could be dark. So swat that away, but also look, if this is happening to you, you don't want to absorb into that energy. You don't want to take that as a fear and run with it, because you could get pulled if you're listening to dark, because now you're going to inflict that paranoia into your journey, and then you're going to create issues between your twin and create a wedge between you, and you're going to be going backwards. You don't want that. Mm-hmm. If you're having dreams of someone else that has your twin energy and holds that attraction, then consider the other factors as a whole. If the other factors apply, then you got to be concerned. Otherwise, flip it on its head, move into trust, faith, and love, and connect with your twin in a way that's helpful.
Right. Also, another good point is surrendering it. If you're having the doubts, surrender it to God. Be like, okay, do what's best for me. And then we're not talking about coming at it from a giving up standpoint. It's when you truly surrender, you give it away. You just give it to him to do what's in your best interest.
Yep.
So.
Second thing is a feeling of impending doom or panic about your twin flame connection specifically. Like when you just have this nagging panic or this fear that something's bad's going to be ready to happen. For those of you that are true twin flames, you know that you've got this spidey sense about something not being right in your journey. If this is nagging at you to the point where you're like pacing, there could be a problem there. Really pay attention to these other signs. If you are transitioning out of your twinship, if they're either your twins being pulled or you're being pulled or both of you are being pulled, which any of these three scenarios can be at play. If you're starting to feel a detachment from your twin that's different than just a separation, he's not texting me today, or we haven't talked in 2 weeks. You shouldn't be worried about that shit at this point. All the 3D shit shouldn't matter. If you're feeling legitimately detached, even from the soul level from your twin, like you go in 5D and he's not talking to you and he seems flat and something's not right, there could be an issue there. Just really pay attention to that. If you feel that sense of detachment, go into 5D and try to really communicate with him and try to build that bond and see what happens. If you really feel detached in the 5D, then there could be a problem.
5D is totally soul level. So if you're in the 5D and you're not feeling or connecting to him on that deep level and feeling the love that you used to feel on that deep level, then that would be something to look into.
Yep. And when we say 5D, we're talking about like twins that legitimately have embraced this concept of the soul level connection. 5D meaning you actually go up into the 5th dimension, like you set with intent that you're going into this sacred space with your twin and you're communicating with him like almost on a remote viewing or an astral travel type situation. This isn't just like, I was thinking about him, that's 5D. It doesn't work like that. If you guys need help with that, reach out, we can help you with that, because this is something that you've got to master, this 5D connection. Also, when things happen, when there's some kind of transition, there are changes in the heart chakra sensations. Any true twin, there are 3 or 4 specific sensations in the heart chakra that will start to decrease if your connection starts to go away. This isn't the typical ebb and flow of sometimes you feel them for a few days or a week, sometimes you don't. Team will test you and pull your connection for a short period of time to see how you handle it. This isn't that kind of thing. It's this gradual deterioration of the connection to the point where you're like, I don't feel them in my heart chakra at all anymore. Like something's wrong. This could be dark. Dark attacks the connection in this way. But if it's not dark and you gradually are feeling like your connection is slipping away and you don't feel those sensations in the heart chakra anymore, this could be an indication that something's going on.
There's a specific sharp stabbing pain that's there, and it's not like an ache. It's a sharp stabbing, like somebody has just stabbed you and they just kind of leave it there for days. It's a constant. It doesn't stop. It'll be there for days, not just hours, not just minutes. It's actually pretty painful, from what I understand.
When they were trying to transition my twin a few years ago, and I did not let that happen. You guys might have heard that in a different video, but I threw a epic hissy fit. I literally felt for hours and hours and hours like I had a letter opener jammed into my heart chakra, like something was sticking out that was metal, and it was a sharp, sharp, sharp pain. It was incessant. It was there every single minute. I felt like it really fucking hurt. This isn't something that just comes and goes. A lot of times if your twin's trying to connect with you on the soul level and they ping your heart chakra and it hurts like hell for a couple seconds, sometimes they're just trying to get your attention or they're stressed out. It could be a number of things. But this is something that goes on for a while. Yeah. You'll also feel if there's a transition out, all of your telepathy and your 5D with him will start to just diminish to the point where you can't feel him anymore. Your telepathy starts to slide away. You can't get him in 5D. It's that soul level connection on all of those clair abilities will start sliding away.
Yeah, and then you almost receive like a numb sensation when it comes to that. It's more than just like your connection being cut. This is more of a lull. It almost feels dead.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Some people actually feel a sharp pain in the back of the neck. Some do, some don't. If a soul is being pulled, they do it out of the back of the neck, out of the spinal column. And so some people have felt really sharp, like just like slits or some kind of like sharp pain in the back of the neck. Some people don't. If it's happening to you and you are being transitioned out, you may or may not feel this. If it's happening to your twin and you're clairsentient, you may pick it up happening to them. If you're feeling this and it happens to fall in line with all of these other symptoms, then reach out because there could be an issue there. Something that most twins feel when they're actually like in the process of transitioning and they're almost done, like their cord has been switched. We'll talk about that in a minute. When all of these other things have happened and you're well into the transition period to the point where it's almost like complete, you're going to feel a loss of love for your twin. This isn't just like, I don't like him today because I'm pissed. I don't like him because I'm not getting a text. I don't like him because we're in separation. I'm not getting what I want kind of shit. We're talking about, you can see a picture of them and you just don't feel anything for them anymore. Like they're just another acquaintance or another Facebook friend. They just don't matter any more than anybody else does. That pull to them is no longer there. It's just a muted numb, like it's just somebody else. I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm. Or either sometimes, if there is a walk-in that has already come into play, then you will feel a pull towards a different person just as strongly as you did your DM.
Or DF. This goes either way, you guys. You guys know. This applies to two twins, regardless of which sex, regardless of which side. But this is not to be confused with tests. So there are a lot of twins right now that are being tested on their 3D attachment and their frustration. Like if you're getting frustrated because he's not stepping up or she's not stepping up, they might bring a similar energy into your world. You're gonna instantly. This has happened to me once. It's happening to people all the time though. They'll bring a test person in that has this similar energy and they want to see if you're going to fall for it or not. Are you going to walk away from your twin and accept this other energy as, oh, well, this feels like my twin, so actually I'm going to do this instead because it's in my face and it's convenient and it's right here. If you do that and you fall for that carrot that they dangled in front of you, you might get pulled. We're talking about you feel a pull, a constant pull that is the same pull as your twin to either somebody that you're just connecting with again. Like you feel like you're starting to build a connection to somebody else and you're feeling that pull strengthen.
Yeah.
That makes sense. If you have somebody that's in that scenario, like you're like, okay, I'm feeling a pull to somebody else, but I've got my twin over here and that's diminishing. A test to find out who this person is if you can pull both your twin and this other person up into the 5D. I'm not talking about, oh, I can hear what they're thinking or he texts me when I think about him. It must be a walk-in. It's not like that at all. If you can, with intent, legitimately go into 5D with both of them, then that's a walk-in situation. If the person that you are being pulled to, you can't pull into 5D, then it's either a test or it is a soulmate potential, and then you could or could not be in a situation where your twinship is in danger. But whoever you cannot pull into the 5D is not a twin, it's not a walk-in. You should only be able to bring your twin or a walk-in situation that's already in transit up into the 5D. That's your test.
Exactly.
The biggest test, or the biggest thing that Tanya and I look at when we've got a twin that's like, holy shit, I don't know what's going on. I feel like there might be somebody coming in or there's somebody that's like niggling at me all the time. I'm feeling kind of torn. I don't know what's going on, but there might be somebody else in question. Tanya and I will look at the cord. If your cord is starting to fade between you and your twin, there's an issue there. Either you are getting ready to be positioned somewhere else, like they're going to pull the connection from you, your connection is fading. Or, I mean, it can be at the stage where it can be repaired, it can be rebuilt. But if it's seriously fading to the point where it's misty and you don't rebuild it and fast, your connection could be disappearing.
It's almost, you have to look at it as a live thing. So if it's diminishing, there's a problem there. If it's becoming misty or whatever, then it's not being fed properly. And there's a reason why it's not being fed. It's either dark or, you know, you have this walk-in situation or potentially being pulled off path.
If dark is affecting your cord, it's going to look different than this. If the dark is affecting your cord, it's going to be blocked. If your cord is just starting to fade out and disintegrate, that means that the connection is starting to die. It's starting to be basically diminished. It's diminishing to the point where it's not going to exist anymore.
Yeah.
If you have a walk-in coming in, if your cord with your original twin is starting to diminish, and then there is a secondary cord coming from your heart chakra that is much stronger, it means that your cord is being pulled from your twin and it's being replaced and rebuilding towards the next walk-in. If your cord is just straight up diminishing and there's nothing there at all, then that means that your twin connection is being pulled. And then you're going to be moving on into a soulmate position with whoever's next, and you're going down a different path.
Right.
We can see this in both sides. So if you're getting completely pulled, your DM might be getting a walk-in, so he might have two cords going on. He may have one fading away and one being built to whoever's going to be replacing you. This can go in a number of different scenarios. You guys could both be getting pulled. You could both be getting walk-ins. It just really depends on the situation. But don't take for granted, because you're the DF, that you're automatically going to have somebody be replacing him. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that come in that are factors that are weighed before that decision is made.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to look at where your heart was, what you were doing. We've seen, Lynn and I have seen, because I know you guys have heard us talk about the woo-woo stuff and the stuff going on in the metaphysical, that people get too stuck on that. And we've seen people pull out of that, the misinformation, and pull their twinship right back up.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many things that your divine team looks at when they decide whether you're getting a walk-in or whether there's a walk-in situation even present anymore.
Yep. If you are being pulled off path entirely, your cord will be diminishing and there will be no other cord forming. If you're being pulled off path entirely, not only will that be happening, but all your abilities will start to diminish. Your connection to team will start to diminish to the point where you're not hearing anything anymore. You may talk to God like you have your whole life, but you're not getting any more input on mission. You're not getting any more input about your abilities. You're not getting any more input on your twin journey and your divine path, because you are going to be moving into a soulmate position. I know this freaks everybody out, and we're not fear-mongering. We're making people aware, because you can actually, in a lot of situations, turn this around. I mean, it happened to me where my cord was getting pulled and disintegrating on the spot, and I literally threw the biggest hissy fit on the planet, said I will fight Satan himself before I'm going to let this shit go down. And there are other people that we've worked with who have transitioned all the way out to the point where they actually were almost in union with another like walk-in situation, and their twin just came out of the cement or out of the quicksand and started fighting back for it and took his energy back and saved the connection, which we've never seen happen before until this time. So there's really crazy shit going on. It really depends on your journey. It depends on you and your twin. And the thing is, we just really want people to understand what's going on so that you have the best opportunity to take the action that you need to take if you want to continue on this journey, and make sure that your twin connection is healthy if this is something that you're fighting for, and if this is something that you are committed and devoted to, because you have to be at this point. So
it's all about the level of commitment and the determination you put into it. Things can turn around. I don't want to say that it can't get too far gone, because as we've seen in some that it does, but if you are actually armed with the information to be able to pull it out, why not? Why not try it? You're not down anything.
So hopefully this helped. Those of you who are like confused about this, Tanya and I do sessions to kind of look at the situation in your twinship and look at the cord and look at all of the signs and get with God and Michael and Archangel Michael figure out exactly what's going on both sides. We do offer this session, so if you guys are interested, there's a link below. Hopefully this will arm you guys with enough accurate information that you can kind of determine what's going on in your past so that everybody's like moving into the direction that they need to be.
Exactly.
It's all about awareness.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
Hope that helped. Love you guys.
Love you.
Talk soon.